Hi everyone, and welcome to week 7 of Adopt Indigo for Praxis. We are coming at you from Akron, Ohio. I'm at my parents' house. Our family is at my parents' house for the holiday weekend, and it just so turns out that my mom Reenie's Indigo is ready to harvest, which is great because I'm going to show you now how to harvest the indigo, and then by the time next weekend rolls around, you guys should be ready sometime around next weekend to start to harvest. We'll talk through all the details. You won't have any questions at all after this video, so you'll be very prepared. And we want to be sure to tell you the reason that our indigo here is a little bit ahead is because actually my mom planted a week ahead of everyone. So so did I, but my indigo is not ready to harvest. So here we are.
It's in this new potting soil.
New potting soil. Okay, so what we need to harvest before you begin. We are going to use gardening shears, but if you do not have gardening shears, regular scissors are just fine. You're going to keep your blood meal handy. Okay, we're going to use this after we cut the indigo from the base of the plant. And if you can look down over here, our setup is a cut up trash bag, okay? So just like any piece of plastic. In our indigo garden, we use tarp. So if you have a tarp in your garage, that will work perfectly, or any kind of plastic. It's just to make it easier to move all around. It's also to reflect the heat back onto the indigo leaves so that they dry a little bit faster. We have weighted them down with gardening tools, so you can weight your plastic down with whatever. The idea just is that your plastic isn't flying around and that it really stays in the same pot, because this is going to take 2 days. So we want to set up somewhere where, you know, it's not going to blow around too much. It'll blow around a little, it's okay. So, all right, we'll talk more about the plastic. Let's start harvesting. Mom, will you hold this for a second? Okay, I just want to show you guys, in case there's lots of questions, how long one of our stems are, so that you can kind of measure like how long your stem should be about. So let's measure this. We've got about 16 inches of indigo here, okay? So this is great. This looks good. My leaves are, you know, I think we could have even waited a little bit longer, but I know some of you are ready, so it's okay. For those of you who are questioning about when is the right time to harvest, if you harvest a little early, if you harvest a little late, it's okay. There's been indigo pigment inside these leaves since the second that you planted them. So no matter what, we're gonna get color out of your leaves. So don't stress too much about when that harvest happens, early or late. Okay, well, I just showed you how to harvest. I just cut the indigo from the base of the plant. I'm gonna cut this pot. Mom, you cut that pot. Good question. So we're gonna leave about 2 inches, and here I'm just gonna go ahead and cut like a big bundle so that everybody can see. And you can just see I'm holding it all in one hand and I'm cutting everything at the same time. So I just cut, oh, sorry. I just cut this big bundle off at once. And you can kind of go ahead and see, I'll just finish this one bundle. So that we're leaving about 2 inches left in the pot.
More than that.
Well, I guess I didn't cut very evenly, but we can chop these guys off so it's all even. There we go. So 2 to 3 inches left at the pot. Everything else gets cut and laid out the plastic. So we are going to cut our indigo and we will start the video again in a minute or two. All right, so we have harvested our indigo, and as you can see, there's about 2 to 4 inches remaining. And honestly, the next harvest that we do later on in the summer, the indigo is going to be stronger. For some reason, it comes back even stronger after the first harvest. But this is a really good opportunity while the base and the roots are really exposed to go ahead and put another tablespoon on every plant. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Tablespoon, tablespoon, tablespoon on all of mine. Here we've got 6 plants. All right. So what you can see over here, we actually had to double the size of our plastic. So much indigo. It's very exciting. And what we're going for is a very thin layer so that there isn't a ton of pileup. So all we're doing right now is spreading out the indigo on the plastic so that we just don't have like big clumps. We want the sun to be drying out the indigo fairly evenly. Don't have to be so crazy precise, but you can kind of imagine that if the indigo is in a huge pile, then it won't dry out at the same rate as the rest of the indigo. Okay. All right. Looks good, Mom. Nice job. Yay. We've harvested. All right. Okay, a couple of notes about the indigo. It is very important that no matter what day you start this process, you know that there is going to be 2 days of sun in a row. So what happens if it rains now on my exposed indigo? If the indigo gets too wet at this point, it is going to be ruined. So we want to just be careful that we're not expecting a big thunderstorm or any flash raining at all while the indigo is exposed, drying wherever it's drying. If for some reason there is some kind of situation where it starts to rain, no problem. You're going to roll up your garbage bags, you're going to move the indigo into your garage, underneath a structure. This happens all the time. Of course, weather is unpredictable. Just make sure that you're kind of around when it starts to rain before it gets too wet. The same thing goes for dew in the grass. So we are setting up to dry on the driveway, which means we don't need to touch this indigo now until tomorrow. But if you guys are in a garden or in your backyard where there is grass, no problem. When we do this in our lot, it's on the grass. But we're just gonna make sure to come outside this evening before it gets dark and fold in the plastic bags and cover the indigo leaves, because the dew will also come and ruin the indigo. So we just don't want, we're trying to, not have a lot of water get on the leaves at this point. They're fairly vulnerable. So until then, we're just gonna come back this evening. I'm gonna show you what it should look like after day 1, and then we'll pick up tomorrow. Do you think I missed anything, Mom? Do you have any questions?
No.
Oh, good.
Sitting here.
We've been thorough. Just checking in, it is now about 8 p.m. on the same day that I started harvest. I started at 2 p.m. So some unexpected things happened. Such an exciting adventure. First, I wanted to recap. We are cutting the indigo with kitchen shear or garden shears or scissors down to the base of the plant, leave about 2 to 4 inches, then go in with a tablespoon of blood meal at the base of every plant. And then I forgot to mention earlier, you'll want to water that blood meal in so the great nutrients just rehydrate and regenerate that soil. It's going to make the indigo grow again and be super happy. Okay, let's take a look at what has happened in the last 6 hours. So today was super hot. It was 90 degrees and we put the indigo on a hot paved driveway. And so it actually dried a lot faster than I'm used to, which is great. So you'll be able to notice right away as the indigo starts to dry that it's turning blue. Like the leaves are turning much bluer. So we're gonna have you guys get really up close here. Okay, so what we are going for is all the leaves are dry. What does dry mean? That means to the touch, they're gonna crumble like an herb or something, right? So we're going for like what?
Like a dried herb.
Like a dried herb, right. But so you're gonna want all of the leaves to be that dark, sort of hunter green, turquoisey, rich blue color of the indigo. What I'm seeing on some of my leaves, I'm still seeing some of that light green, which means that they're not totally dried out yet. It probably will need another hour in the sun tomorrow morning. What we want to make sure doesn't happen, this is important, is that we want to make sure the stems stay wet. So the stems need to stay green. You're kind of going for this perfect time when the leaves are dry, but the stems are so wet, because we are separating the stems from the leaves tomorrow. And if the stem is also as dry as the leaves, you're going to spend hours picking the leaves and the stems apart. And you don't want to do this. You don't want to do that. What's going to happen is a very, very easy and fast experience in finishing up harvesting tomorrow. So For now, I'm going to show you what it looks like to fold the plastic over the indigo overnight. And that way, if you are on the grass, remember you have to cover the indigo, otherwise the dew will come and it will spoil this harvest. So I'm going to leave the weights on one side, we'll remove the weights on the other for now. And all I'm going to do is fold that plastic over the indigo and re-weight it. So you can do that on both sides. Thank you, Mom. And that's it. So we're just going to make sure that the indigo stays protected. This way it's protected from the rain, it's protected from the dew, and it's protected from wind. Because that's the other thing that could happen is the wind could come and it could blow all of your indigo away. So that's it. We're going to check back tomorrow morning, probably on the early side because the sun's going to be hitting the driveway pretty early. So I'll check back in the morning and we will finish up the harvest. Hi everyone. Okay, so it's now day 2 in our indigo harvest, and we came out this morning around 8:30 in the morning and opened up the plastic to the indigo, and it had actually gotten a little damp from condensation because the leaves weren't completely dry when we covered them. The heat changed, the temperature changed last night, all that stuff. So it was a little damp. So it was important that we got out pretty early this morning and opened them up so just the air got on them and the sun would get on them as soon as possible. So the little dampness does not seem to be a problem. So if that happens to you, don't worry. So here's what our indigo looks like. You can see, if you get up close, that the leaves are really dark blue, greenish blue, but the stems are perfectly green. And if you touch the leaves, they kind of crumble in your hand. So this is exactly what we're going for to do the next phase of harvest. And because it's 95 degrees out, we are now going to move the indigo into the shade and finish the indigo from there. Okay, so we're in the shade, much more comfortable. And we are now going to start a process called winnowing, which is separating the dried leaves from the stalks of the indigo. So I'm just using like a regular brown paper grocery bag, but probably a bag that breathes is a little bit better. If you have a plastic bag or a Tupperware, whatever you have, you just want to make sure that it stays into a dry and cool place. All right, so the easiest thing I think on this scale is just to take a single leaf, and I'm actually just going to crush the leaves straight into the bag. So I'm going to do kind of what you would do to kale or something, where you take it from the stalk and remove the leaves from there, and that's it. And we do not need the stalks. So we're just going to go ahead and do that.
And we want to pick out anything that's not an indigo. I have a tree that drops leaves all the time.
So we want only indigo leaves in our collection of leaves. And this is kind of what the stalks look like after the leaves have been separated. So you can see the veins of the leaves have not separated. You might lose a little tiny bit of indigo. So it's better to lose a little bit on the ends versus have the stalks dry too much. And like I talked about yesterday, them be so dry that they start to break apart and you're having to separate the stalks from the leaves. There is only indigo pigment in the leaf of the indigo. So we are going to kind of continue this, and let's see, anything else. So once this is done, all my leaves, if you guys compost, you can definitely keep your stalks and put them in your compost bin. You can save them actually and bring them with your indigo leaves to Praxis at the end of the summer, and we will compost them for you. Other than that, this is harvesting. You have now successfully completed your very first indigo harvest. So congratulations and thank you. As you're doing this, maybe you could envision what it's like to do on a much larger scale when we have our full indigo lot all together. That we have, I think, 12 20-foot tarps that are along a huge field. We're gathering, and at this point we're stomping indigo with our feet and pitchforking the stalks out to separate from the leaves. So this is cool. This is sort of an intimate, smaller version. I'm enjoying it, and we hope you do too. So if you have any questions at all, I know there's a lot of steps. I'm going to try to break it down in the video to kind of explain what to do, step 1, 2, and 3. But if you have any questions, then don't hesitate to send me an email, and we'll help as best we can. And like last note, no pressure. It's supposed to be fun. We are going to be happy with whatever indigo we get from everyone at the end of the season. So thanks again for your help. Thanks, Mom, for hosting our video location this weekend, and I hope you all have a great week. Okay, one last shot. I just wanted to show everybody what it looks like at the end. We just spent about 15 minutes carefully separating the indigo from the stems, and what we have left is 2 grocery bags, one full of the dried leaves and one full of the stems. That's it, and I will we'll keep those in the basement until the next harvest. So thanks again, and we'll talk soon. Bye.